Welcome, everybody. We're excited to get going. Got a great guest today. We got Nate
Woo!
Brown.
What's up,
He
peoples?
he is the co-founder of CX Accelerator, a real brilliant mind when it
Mm,
comes to all things CX. It was funny when I first, Nate, I think when I first joined customer, you've got to be like one of the first person, you're like
yep, I
Googling.
remember that conversation.
It's like Googling, what do I do in CX? I think I was like, Nate Brown. I was like, I should probably talk to this guy. So I've known him now for coming up on like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And he is just everywhere. You'll see him on LinkedIn. You see him at events. He was just recently speaking, doing a keynote at a university in the Midwest. So
Mm.
it's like the guy he might be in the Million Mile Club because he
There's four of
definitely.
me. I cloned myself. I'm the good looking one. You got the best one, Gabe.
I was gonna say he does seem to be. I'm always on LinkedIn. I'm like, where is he doing this? And he just told me he was at a university in the Midwest. I'm like, okay, that didn't look like where you normally are. Anyways, Nate, thanks so much for joining me. And how the heck are you?
Doing super good. Love that initial conversation, Gabe, that I had with you. And that's what I'm about. I love welcoming people into this customer experience
Yeah,
space and in this community that we have. It's so special. It's just awesome, this work that we get to do, the way we get to cultivate meaningful connections inside the organizations that we serve, and the added bonus of just the larger royal community that we have of people doing that work across the entire world.
yeah,
It's just awesome what we get to do, Gabe.
yeah,
Welcome.
yeah. Yeah. Well, what you get to do, the rest of us fake it a little bit. But
Yeah, no.
um, tell us just. I mean, I gave a little bit of it, but tell us just a little more about your background before we kind of jump in, if that's okay.
Woo, let's go back. So, coming out of Toccoa Falls College, moved
Oh, I
blindly.
meant even further back, like you born 9 pounds 5 ounces
Yeah,
type of thing.
yeah. Wasn't that big of a baby. I'm a big baby now, though. I came out of school and started trying to sell postage meters on the streets of Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay,
Turns
okay,
out I
why
wasn't very
not?
good at that. I
Yeah,
got kicked out of a lot of strip malls in Jacksonville, but then ultimately did realize I love the customer service element
yeah,
of my account manager role. And so as I navigated, there was a short stint of selling vacuum parts out of a storage unit, but we'll skip over that part.
okay,
And
okay.
we'll go to my first entry level customer service role at
Yeah,
a safety science company. And I just loved it. I just came alive in that customer service role, just getting to help so many people in an accelerated format. The day just went poof,
yeah.
like 100 tickets a day, and it was just helping so many people with challenges around adult
Love it.
learning. It was safety science and making sure that they were staying safe in their jobs, and I just loved it, Gabe.
I love it. Yeah, man. So
Yeah,
there started the journey, huh? And then
there
that brings
began.
us 100 years later to where we are, right?
So then kind of took ownership of that team and grew into more of that leadership mentality of how can I equip others that are doing customer service work to embrace it, to love it, to come alive the way that I was able to, and then really grew into more of that CX capacity and became a
Yeah,
CX director inside of that organization. So went from really kind of that and it was on me to be thinking this way, but kind of that reactive mode of taking a lot of tickets
yeah,
and doing that on behalf of our department to then morphing to, whoa, how can we embrace the customer journey and reduce friction upstream
yeah,
and think about it through their lens and their eyes and really do something special here with the overall experience that we're creating and
yeah.
get myself out of this customer service box that I was thinking about. And
Mm.
that's still what I'm thinking about, Gabe. In the last 4 years, I've been doing quite a bit of fun consulting
Yeah,
and other
yeah,
projects and just helping, mentoring CX professionals in this space. And
yeah.
I've loved it.
Yeah. Tell us real quick just then about CX Accelerator. Kind of what's the mission and what are some of the fun things you guys are doing over there?
The mission of it is to equip CX professionals on every stage of their career journey.
Yeah,
But our absolute sweet spot is people like you, Gabe, 5 years ago, coming into this field, coming into this work, and looking for that launching pad
yeah,
to be able to just feel good about what they're doing and to have a community around them of people that are wrestling with the same stuff and that can support them and embrace them and be able to ask some of those more vulnerable questions where you might want to not put that on the amplification of LinkedIn, like how exactly am I doing my job?
one of those things you can't admit it. How do I
It's
do
good to
my
have a private community for that. And right now we're really focused on bringing some of that campfire feel back because, I
yeah,
mean, we're over 4,000 people now,
bonkers?
which is awesome. And you get that amplification of perspectives and worldwide input of what's going on in the customer experience space. So I love that. But you're kind of missing that more intimate community feel of where we started. So we're going to do both, right? We're going to have those giant mega threads of just all the things you get to learn and see and refresh yourself on in terms of the big perspective, but be able to dive deeper with a smaller group of people who are looking to achieve that next milestone in their CX career, similar to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And embrace those folks, resource them, encourage them, and just, again, accelerate them to that next milestone and do that in the context of community. So we're super excited about what's going on.
Well, congrats, man. It's definitely on the map
Thank you.
for a lot of people, and you've obviously done a lot of good in the world. That's not a bad thing to say. Put on the old CV. Awesome. I appreciate the overview. Wanted to dive into the topic at hand here. You and I have gone back and forth, and certainly AI is. Yeah, it's a little bit overused. I mean, and I think everyone agrees. There's obviously something there, and we're all rushing towards it. But there are other ways to define, optimize, and really bring your CX strategy to the next level. One of the things you and I have been talking about is this concept of community. Maybe start big picture. Why community? Why are you passionate about it, and why do you think it can make a difference?
Yeah, and I'll pause for a quick second because I do want to bridge the gap here. I mean, we don't want to skip over the AI elephant. It is so good and helpful and relevant. And I mean, I love how Bill Stakos talks about this. I mean, so the way AI is impacting CX is really in three acts. So it started as contributor, agent assist. It's helping us to facilitate a better interaction with customers. But now it's a composer.
Yeah.
It's actually in those interactions and composing them itself. And we're witnessing the music that's taking place there. And it's exciting. It's wonderful. But then the third act, the one we're moving towards, is that of character. So it's like a character in our lives. It's a friend of ours. Think about Jarvis to Iron Man.
Right. I love that example.
And what Jarvis gets, it's just there. It's proactively taking care of all these things. But we also, as CX professionals, we get to be Pepper Potts, which is the true guide to Iron Man. I mean, it's the heart, it's the conscience, right? It's why he wanted to sacrifice himself to save humanity. So when you combine Jarvis and Pepper around our customer, the hero of this story, Iron Man, we get to do some really killer stuff, Gabe. So I'm excited for that. But the community element is there. And I heard CK recently talk about how she's a brilliant AI analyst in the space.
Okay.
She's like, hey, everybody's asking me, how do you compete against AI? Don't. Let's do the things that we should do. Let AI do the things that it's great at. Let's do the things that we're great at as people. And what we're great at, should be great at, is cultivating meaningful community. But we've been struggling here, Gabe, because right now, and you might have saw the U.S. Surgeon General come out with the epidemic of loneliness report a few months ago.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't see that.
It's scary. It's hard to digest. It'll tear you up a little bit. It's just the state of where we are as a society right now. But who in the workforce is gifted to offer a solution here? CX professionals.
Yeah.
We've got that servant heart. We've got that empathy. We've got that desire to connect and cultivate meaningful community, which is literally one of the bullet points in that report as the solution is cultivating meaningful community. And people are turning to the workforce, Gabe, more than ever before, to gain their sense of identity and to find their community in their lives, big life. Where it used to be that some of those forces are diminishing in our lives. It's sad. I'm not saying it's right. But community associations, family ties, even religious associate, a lot of these things have diminished in their impact in our overall identity, and people are turning to their work family, looking for that community. So we get to be there to help cultivate that and make it something really special.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I love the segue from AI. That's a great kind of three-part talk track. No, it's good. I like that. So as you think about and the loneliness, sorry, one more click on that. It just was basically you were saying this report, the Surgeon General, the people are just as you'd expect. I mean, with potentially some of the stuff coming out of COVID and whatnot, and we're just all kind of lonely. I mean, I almost want to Google it right now, but that's the general overview, or does it go deeper? I mean, I got to read that. That sounds fascinating.
Well, I mean, it talks about how deadly that loneliness is to us. I mean, how much the mind is connected to the body, and when we have that psychological void that forms without that meaningful connection in our lives, it impacts us physically greatly, which is why the U.S. Surgeon General is jumping in and saying loneliness is killing you.
It's like an epidemic, huh? Jeez.
It is truly. I mean, that connection between our mind and it happens. It overflows in all these ways, and that stress, that cortisol, is manifest in all these physical
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
So if you want to think about folks that are not able to engage in the workplace the way that you want them to, us as CX professionals, we're asking for a lot. Go make the magic with these customers. Go do all these things. Represent the brand as an ambassador. Innovate for us.
Yeah.
We're asking people to do so much, and if they're in a place where they're isolated, if the circle of psychological safety has been broken for them, all they can think about is themselves, and they're in that self-preservation mode until we restore them to that place of health. They can't physically, mentally focus outward towards the customer.
Yep.
So we've got to do this as CX pros.
Yeah, I love it. Well, this is probably then the question. Then the follow-ups. How do you get started? I mean, you
Yeah.
definitely laid the foundation, I think, for a compelling reason to consider this as something that maybe we needed. And I think a lot of us feel this, but maybe
Uh-huh.
you've put some words to the thought. How do people start to get down and dirty on this? Get there? How do we get started?
I think that answer is emerging, and I've been endorsing myself inside of a lot of research here, and just learning a lot. And my current response to this very complicated question, to summarize it as best as I can, I've been thinking and talking about a community in 3 layers,
Okay.
as it is relevant to the workplace, and that starts with servant leaders. So you've got a group of senior leaders who are they understand the true brand core of the organization.
Yeah.
There's a reason the business got started. There's a mission, a promise that was made outward to the community, to the customers that we're serving, about why this organization exists.
Yeah.
Is that group of senior leaders committed to the defense of that promise,
Yeah.
to extending that and maximizing the value of that promise beyond shareholder value, which is obviously important, and that is a core reason why the business exists. But that's not why the business exists.
Yeah.
And do you have leaders that care enough about each other and care enough about the organization and its promise to where they're going to serve each other in that? And they're not looking to just extend their own legacy or put themselves up on a pedestal or focus too much on the revenue generation portion.
Yeah, I just don't know if I can't think of that many companies who do it, and I think it's because of that last reason. It's maybe it's the why and the what. It's like, what we certainly need to be profitable, or we need to generate revenue. That is what we like, it's capitalism, or, businesses can't survive right now on just being quote unquote nice. Right. But ultimately, that I think becomes such a front and center. It's like, this is our goal, or our mission is to hit this dollar and cents. And it's like, that's really our mission. That's what we're here to do, is just that. And so maybe it's the what and the why, but man, as I hear you talk about that, no offense to everybody, just about every company, I just don't think they've got that why nailed down. And they certainly, if they may put it on a piece of paper, but then actually in town halls or in things like that, all they're doing is talking about revenue. I mean,
So
it's
to me, Gabe, and again, I'm a 39-year-old dude who's a student of this. I don't have the answers here, but what I see and what I feel is that the difference is patience. So these organizations can and should make money. And what we know, Gabe, is that good CX does make money.
Yeah.
But the quarterly shareholder mentality is the antonym of long-term customer value, is the antonym of great CX.
Yeah.
And so when we try to just cram in and accelerate that revenue generation into these little pockets, these little windows of time, these quarterly windows of time, we're robbing from the future of our own organization. We're robbing from our future customers and their success, trying to squeeze it in right here. If we can just allow ourselves to have that longer term view, that's what great organizations do. They can and should make money. It's just a matter of, are you going to make this little bit of money now, this quarter, or are you going to make this money in 2 years?
Yeah. Look, I mean, sometimes and look, there's got to be a balance, I think, as you're saying, but I do think a lot of us are leaning towards maybe being too quarterly focus or $2 focus. And
It's hard. I get it. Those are the
it's the soft,
pressures.
it's the soft stuff versus the hard, like sometimes it's hard to go after the quote unquote softer side of the business. But I love your point. If you invest in that, you're gonna see the returns in the long run. Okay, so number one is this servant leadership. It's
Yes.
this idea of getting to the why,
Yeah.
making sure you do it at the leadership level. Okay, got it. Where do you go for layer two then?
So then we are in layer two. So the leaders are connected. There is a concept of the ideal customer experience we're trying to
Okay.
create. The brand promise is clear. Now it trickles down to our employee organization, the
Okay.
community of our organization, and it's trying to awaken what I've been calling guides and guardians.
Okay.
So these are people, and this, it's a metaphor coming from Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. But the customer is the
Oh
hero of the
man, Donald
story,
Miller. Oh man, I haven't heard that name for a while, but
right?
that guy's a rock star.
Nashville boy. I got to represent Nash Vegas out here.
I love it.
And,
I
and
love it.
it's a brilliant, just simple way to think about the fact that the customer is the hero of the story. So we get to be the guide. So what does the guide do? Well, the guide is trying to bring the customer to their definition of success, their destination.
Yep.
So that requires us to know what that destination is. It requires a great voice of customer engine to be able to do that. It requires us to be a capable guide,
Yeah.
to have the skill, the knowledge, the desire to walk alongside the customer on that journey. And like Jarvis, to be proactive in terms of the overcoming of the obstacles that one would navigate along this journey.
Right.
So it's making your employees that ambassador, that guide, but then it's a guardian too. Like they care so much about the integrity of the brand promise that they are willing to defend it.
Yeah.
They're going beyond the bare minimum. They're going beyond. So think about this. There's so much training and chatter out there about how can we have crucial conversations with our coworkers.
Yeah.
How can we navigate conflict in the workplace? The vast majority of people just aren't doing it. It's not worth it to them. They don't care enough to have hard conversations with coworkers, to hold anybody accountable to anything, especially at a peer level. But that's what great organizations do. So if you care enough about the brand promise to guard it, to defend it, you're going to be willing to engage politely, respectfully, like radical candor. We're going to care personally. Like I care about you. We're in the trench together. We're fighting this wonderful battle together. But like I care so much about winning this and ensuring that we protect the integrity of our brand promise. This is something that we need to work on together here. This is something that needs to be better.
Yeah, it does seem like so. This next level is all kind of that, really engaging and mobilizing this workforce in a way that
Bingo.
potentially they haven't done it before. And one of those ways
Guides
is
and guardians.
employee engagement, but this idea of actually being a guide and a guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a different framing. I mean, sometimes I think I use the word employee engagement or employee satisfaction or something like that, but
Sure.
especially I think nowadays with customers, those words probably resonate more than ever. They want this, I don't want to say consultative relationship, but it's like I want someone to tell me how to become a superhero. Like I want that. I'm trying to think of
You need a Pepper Potts.
Lord of the Rings, Pepper Potts type of thing, where it's
Yes.
like, where's the wizard who guides Frodo on the journey to get the ring, or
There is the wizard.
somebody to kind of help me on my journey. Because in a lot of cases, we're talking about things that are important to people, right? I mean, these are
Right.
the clothes I wear. It's the identity I am. This is a very important kind of purchase for my family. So, and it's crucial. And it's like, man, if I could just have somebody kind of help me understand. So I think customers actually want it, but we've not been able to get employees to embrace it. Where do you feel like some of the challenges with this one have been? Like, why are we not there? Why are we not getting to this guides and guardians moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's generally people that they have not reached that level of tribe, to use tribal leadership language, inside the organization to where that has happened. I mean, the vast majority of organizations are stuck between tribe 2 and tribe 3.
Yeah.
Which what that is my life sucks. That's a tribe 1, and then tribe 2 is, well, I'm okay, but all of you suck.
Yeah.
And then tribe 3 is like, I guess we're doing a few things okay, but most of the rest of you are not so good. But like I'm all right. It's like whoa, how are we gonna do much in terms of external ambassadorship, in terms of really stepping up to want to guide the customer and intimately understand their needs to get them to their definition of success when our lens is that much on ourselves. When the circle of psychological safety is broken to the point where all we can do is really focus on ourselves.
Yeah.
So we have to restore that. We have to change that lens to be more focused externally on our customers as the hero of the story. But it requires a lot of friction reduction. People have to have the desire and the ability.
Yeah, the ability to.
And this, I mean, so customer is an example of a friction fighting tool.
That's right.
But the average enterprise organization has 464 custom applications inside of it. So think about the digital ecosystem mess that we have created. Information is everywhere. And the ability for a customer service worker to just do their jobs requires like 14 different tools in like a 30-minute window.
This is
So it's like, it's stupid. It's ridiculous what we've done to ourselves in that area. So you've got good people that have the desire, but do not have the tools and capability to actually fulfill their desire to serve well.
Yeah. Wow, man. Amen to that. I love just the point of it's one thing to have the desire and to know I need to be a guide, but the ability to actually execute on that is also, I'm glad you threw that in there because sometimes I got it, but I just can't actually do it. All right, we got 1 and 2, guide, guardian. We got kind of servant leader. Okay, number 3. Where do you go for number 3 here?
I mean, this is where so few brands get to do, but it's the most exciting one. This is where we get to blow the doors off this building and go outside in the world and cultivate meaningful community with our customers.
Yeah.
We get to start co-creating alongside them, and we're attracting the right customers to us that care about this brand promise as much as we do. They want to see the world as a better place in the same way that we do. I'll use UL as an example. They had a clear brand core of making the world a safer place in these specific and good ways. You can't be selfish with a brand promise like that. You've activated your employees. Now let's go out and let our customers join us in the future of what it looks like to make the world a safer place. And you've got an actual community mechanism, a virtual space in which that collaboration, that organic collision is happening. Now it's good and it's scary and it can be awful. You know, if the brand tries to jump straight to level 3 community, the organization can't sustain it. There's not that authentic overflow. You don't have the business earning the right to over spill over into their customers and invite them into a community that already exists inside the business. So you got to have those layers 1 and 2. Then you get to start bringing those customers in, and you're learning so much from them. The most dynamic and rich voice of customer channel ever created is there. Suddenly you have customers supporting other customers in a really good, edifying way. So from a customer service perspective, I mean, it's tremendous. It's like the greatest channel ever created. So, I mean, there's just so much implication to brands that can get to this level 3 layer of community, of co-creation alongside customers. But that to me, Gabe, is the future of customer experience work for great organizations that can do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a word that is sometimes thrown around. I love the way you've kind of put it in the 3 layers. Let's do one more click, though, on the last one there. Because, you know, again, if you walked around to some CX leader and you're like, you should have a community, people would be like, well, I know, I just don't know how, you know. Where have you found that people on that last pillar, and you could go tactical or principle based, but how do you kind of start to dive into that one? Where is it? Do you need to buy a tool? Do you need to have, I mean, I get you probably to your point, you got to make sure you have the leadership and the employees in place, but do you start running a newsletter? Do you like what are the principles of is it information? You got to like Gabe, you got to give them great information often through whatever means, newsletter, but like how would you guide someone on that 3rd pillar to get cracking?
Yeah, I'm still learning a lot here, Gabe. You know, I feel like I'm just in this past year am seeing the true power and the future of what community is going to mean for us. And it was that report, you know, months ago that woke me up and created even more of a sense of urgency inside of me. But with the experiment of CX Accelerator and that being as successful and helping brands to set up a couple brand communities, at this point, what I would recommend is to be thinking through, okay, what is the true brand core here? What is the promise that we want to defend? And that purpose element where a community makes sense. So in other words, we want to be collaborating with people inside the organization, inviting customers in long term to where this type of interaction makes sense. Not every organization is a use case for community.
Yeah.
Huh. But if you want to see some great use cases and get some of these practical steps, Belonging to the Brand by Mark Schaefer is a wonderful resource that
Okay.
can help you to think through, am I a good candidate for this as a brand? And what would it look like in terms of the digital extension of the community? I mean, you're going to be asking yourself the question, where are our customers now? And how can we, in the most frictionless way, a lot of times there is the mobile app component, and there's some great pre-built
Something like that.
community
Yeah.
mobile app capabilities that where you can build it, right there. There is your Slack and your Discord. Incredible virtual spaces where just remarkable functionality is already built in. But there's sometimes, depending on the needs of your community and some of the specific things that you want to amplify with it, you might want to custom build your own app or your own interface in which those interactions are going to take place. So there's questions that need to be answered as you navigate that journey. And then you got to have good moderation here. And so Community Roundtable is an incredible organization that equips these community moderators to be able to establish that originating culture to when you start inviting folks in, they pick it up. They see what you're trying to do. They're excited. They come to life about their ability to co-create with you around a specific meaningful purpose. And they just kind of take on the vibe of it.
Yeah.
And it's almost seamless when it's a great community, but that requires very intelligent community moderation behind the scenes to make that happen. So you've got to have some unique individuals with that gift set and with that upskilling to be able to facilitate that type of environment. Then you just cultivate it and grow it and let it evolve, almost lose control of it a little bit as you truly do allow your customers to guide the future direction of that community with you.
I love it, man. Oh my goodness. We went long. I mean, we always do, man. I could talk to this guy for like 4 hours. I told him it was going to be 15 minutes. I think I'm on like 40 here.
Nah.
Just a wealth of knowledge. Man, I'd love to keep going. I might have to have you back for something else here. Either way, love the kind of message on AI. Love the idea of bringing community out in these 3 layers: servant leadership, guide, guardian, then ultimately this customer concept that really brings that to life. So if people wanted to dive a little deeper in with you, Nate, or learn a little bit more about some of the cool things you guys are doing at CX Accelerator, what would be the best place to start?
Yeah, hop on over to cxaccelerator.com and see a great CX community that has come to life there, modeled out in that context. And then you can certainly ping me right in there, or otherwise LinkedIn, Nate Brown, Twitter, CX Accelerator, or I guess X. My apologies, Gabe. Would love to be a resource for you on this community journey. This work has never been more important as we as CX leaders get to use our unique gifts to fight against the epidemic of loneliness and earn the right to grow our brands in the right ways.
I love it. It's a great kind of closing statement there, Mr. Brown. So again, appreciate you taking the time and hope everybody enjoys the session. Take care.